Namaste. Thank you so much for joining this episode of the Bhagavad Gita series with Bhavna Didi and me, Amish. Didi, today we are going to be discussing Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Most people have heard these terms like Sattvic food. Everyone would have heard of this. But what does Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas actually mean? That's what we'll be discussing through the guidance of Lord Krishna. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, verse 5. Sattvam rajas tama iti guna prakruti sambhavaha nibadnanti mahabaho dehe dehi nam avyayam.
O mighty armed Arjun, material energy consists of three gunas: mode, sattva, which is goodness, rajas, passion, and tamas, ignorance. These modes bind the eternal soul to the perishable body. You know, Amish, Swami Mukundanandji, in his translation of the Gita, gave a very evocative example to explain sattva and tamas and rajas. He describes these three robbers in a forest, and they come across sadhu. And robber one says, "इसको मार डाला जाए, and इसके possessions हम ले लेंगे." Robber two says, "Let's not kill the man. Let us tie him up and take his possessions." The third one goes and quietly, he remains quiet and performs the task, ties up, and the three robbers run away. But the third one, who had remained silent, returns, unties the person, takes him to the edge of the forest and says, "I can't get out of the forest, but you can remain out of the forest." And then he goes away. These four people, the four robbers and
The
three robbers and the sadhu, they're all one person. Sattva, tamas, and rajas. So, tamsic is the robber who wanted to kill the person. And that person, the sadhu, is the soul. He wanted to kill the person, tamas. The rajasic second robber didn't want to kill. He wanted to tie him up because he was interested in the possessions. The third, सात्विक, माया जाल में वो भी है, फॉरेस्ट में वो भी है, but there's something, he's struggling with his goodness because he comes, unties the person, the fourth person, the soul, takes him to the edge of the forest and says, "You can remain outside, मुझे तो अंदर रहना पड़ेगा." So these are the three modes: sattva, goodness; rajas, passion; and third, which is tamas, which is ignorance. So the first robber is tamas. It is ignorance, it is delusion. It is actually laziness also, sloth, but it's also anger and violence. The first robber wants to kill. The second robber is rajas. Rajas is ambition, pride, drive. Rajas knows envy because it has ambition. The second robber wants the possession. He does not want to kill. There's no violence, there's no tamas. The third robber, silent, struggling with goodness. कुछ गड़बड़ हो रहा है, लेकिन माया जाल में सत्व भी है. And the third, which is sattva, struggling with the goodness, goes and unties the robber and takes him to the edge of the forest, which is life. Each of us have different proportions of these modes, Sri Krishna says. And we are struggling at different moments of time. It is a little bit like, actually the second verse makes it more interesting.
Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, verse 10. Rajas tamas chabi bhuya sattvam bhavati bharata rajas sattvam tamas chaiva tamas sattvam rajas tatha.
Sometimes goodness prevails over passion and ignorance, O scion of Bharat. Sometimes passion dominates goodness and ignorance, and at other times ignorance overcomes goodness and passion. अंदर कुश्ती चल रही है.
But can it also be that actually all three, sattva, rajas, and tamas, actually have a role to play? That's why they exist. if you are living in a world where you or your community are under attack, you need to be violent. Perhaps you need a bit of tamas, you need a bit of passion of rajas as well. If you're being sattvic with someone who's being violent towards you, chances are you will not survive. So is it that all three actually have a role to play? So it's not just about what is your natural attribute, it's also what the environment demands.
You need goodness,
Huh?
you need drive, you need rest.
You need rest,
But in balance, na?
in balance.
That tamas shouldn't become violent.
Hmm.
Rajas shouldn't become envious. And goodness should not lose its power,
Ah.
its strength.
Like we discussed that movie Lakshya. At the beginning of the movie, Hrithik Roshan, I'm forgetting the character's name. Hrithik Roshan's character, but okay. But he was actually completely tamasic. Just
Completely tamasic.
lazy, just floating through life. Many people actually do that.
मैं ऐसा क्यों हूँ
हाँ
मैं वैसा क्यों हूँ
हाँ correct. That's
मैं
all.
जैसा हूँ मैं वैसा क्यों हूँ tamasic.
And the insult from his girlfriend
Yeah.
actually shakes him. So that was a good insult. It was a good poke.
Transformed him into a rajasic person and he went to Kargil.
Yeah, where he becomes a warrior.
Yeah.
पाएगा जो लक्ष्य है तेरा.
Yeah.
That was a transformational story. I wonder if Farhan Akhtar was aware of Bhagavad Gita and Rajas and
That he's
tamas
making a
while doing it. He's
movie which
making
is a journey from tamas to rajas.
Rajas. And he is in a way encapsulating one of the philosophies in the Bhagavad Gita so beautifully.
Yes.
But yeah, that movie really encapsulated it, the journey from tamas to rajas. And I think maybe that's a lesson that all of us can learn from these shlokas of Lord Krishna, that there is a value in all of these. If something exists, matlab it serves
The purpose.
some purpose.
And we need to move towards balance
We need to work towards.
and understand what our components are, what we are made up of.
Correct. Wonderful place to end this. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Bhagavad Gita series with Bhavna Didi and me. If you did, hit like and subscribe below so that you can be notified when the next episode launches. Thank you so much. Jai Shri Krishna.